All right, let's jump right into this explainer. We're looking at the absolute boom of the 2026 audio ecosystem today. We're going to cover the hit content that millions are obsessed with right now, the incredibly cool tech making it all happen, and of course, the massive business side of things. If you found yourself listening to way more audio lately, well, you are definitely not alone. Take a look at the sheer scale here. Literally half the country, over 158 million Americans aged 12 and older, are plugging in every single month. We're not talking about some niche underground hobby anymore, right? This is a massive, fundamental shift in how half the US absorbs its news, entertainment, and culture. So, here is our roadmap for today. We'll start with the 2026 podcast landscape, hit the top shows and award winners, figure out how to choose your perfect player, dive into the AI audio revolution, and wrap it all up with the business of podcasting. Section 1. The 2026 podcast landscape, a medium for every mind. When you look at what's actually dominating the charts, the variety is just wild. You've got Joe Rogan's massive, completely unfiltered 3-hour interviews sitting at #1 on Spotify. Then there's Alex Cooper pulling in over 5 million weekly listeners with super raw relationship talk on Call Her Daddy. And right alongside the gripping true crime of Crime Junkie, you have the highly produced, hard-hitting journalism of The Daily. It's basically a buffet for your brain. But let's zoom in on a super specific habit, the morning commute. If you're trying to get smart before you even reach your desk, shows like The Daily or NPR's Up First are absolute essentials. They're precision engineered to pack high-impact journalism into these tight 10 to 20-minute daily sprints. It's all about maximum efficiency. Moving right along to Section 2, top shows and award winners, the voices defining 2026. What's really fascinating right now is that listeners absolutely crave distinct, bold viewpoints. Take a look at these two totally different approaches. On one hand, you have the Midas Touch podcast, which has just exploded by offering unapologetically partisan, progressive political commentary. It is hyper-focused. On the other hand, you've got the Joe Rogan Experience, which thrives on being sprawling and unscripted, bringing on everyone from comedians to really polarizing political figures. The big takeaway here? People aren't looking for safe, middle-of-the-road TV talk anymore. They want raw, highly specific voices no matter where they sit on the spectrum. And speaking of authentic voices, get this. One of the biggest surprises of the year was at the 2026 iHeart Podcast Awards. The reality star duo behind Giggly Squad actually beat out heavyweights like The Daily for Podcast of the Year. As this review perfectly puts it, they're essentially just giggling about pregnancy tests and Pilates. It completely proves that sometimes we don't want a heavy news breakdown, we just want to feel like we're hanging out and laughing with our best friends. Okay, Section 3. Choosing your perfect player, hardware meets software. So we know what everyone's listening to, but how are they actually listening? Well, if you're a total power user, the kind of person who wants to set up crazy automation rules to download, prioritize, and auto-delete your news, Podcast Addict is basically your dream tool. But if you're more of a privacy advocate and the thought of data tracking creeps you out, you've got AntennaPod. It's completely free, open source, and has absolutely zero user tracking. Total peace of mind. Now, if you're just looking for that everyday, seamless experience, Pocket Casts is hands down the 2026 gold standard for commuters. It's all about stability. You can be listening on Android Auto in your car, hit pause, walk into the office, and pick it right back up on your desktop without missing a single word. Plus, their web player is completely free now, no paywall at all, which is huge. And here's where the tech gets really cool. Modern apps actually value your time. Ever heard of silence trimming? It's not just speeding up a voice so it sounds weird and squeaky. It's a smart algorithm that dynamically snips out dead air and awkward pauses between sentences. If you're tackling a 2-hour interview, this feature alone can easily buy you 15 minutes back. It is literally a time travel superpower for binge learning. Which perfectly transitions us to Section 4, the AI audio revolution, podcasting 2.0. So here's a massive question for you. What actually happens when artificial intelligence crashes into our audio feeds? For years, podcast apps were basically just glorified digital tape players, right? But today, these apps are actively analyzing, reading, and understanding the audio while it plays. Take a look at these innovators. If you love taking notes, an app called Snipped is an absolute game changer. It uses AI to transcribe episodes on the fly. You hear something brilliant, you literally just tap your headphones to snip it, and the AI sends a summarized note straight to your Notion dashboard. Insane, right? And then you have Fountain, which uses Web3 tech to literally pay you in fractions of Bitcoin just for listening and discovering new shows. Fountain is built on this idea called Podcasting 2.0, specifically the value for value model. It's a total paradigm shift for the industry. Instead of sitting through disruptive mattress ads, you can actually stream tiny crypto micropayments directly to the creator while you listen. You're instantly rewarding them for the specific value and knowledge they're giving you. And that brings us to our final stop, Section 5, the business of podcasting, influencers, and e-commerce. Check out this stat, because it is wild. Nearly half, 45% of all influencer marketers are now using podcast hosts as their brand ambassadors. They aren't just pouring all their money into Instagram or TikTok anymore, they are moving heavily into audio. And the reason why is pretty simple. Podcasts are arguably the most trusted form of user-generated content out there. Think about your own favorite shows. You're spending hours every week with these voices literally inside your head. You build this deeply intimate parasocial bond with them. So when that host does an ad read, it doesn't feel like a corporate billboard. It feels like your smart friend giving you a solid recommendation. That authentic storytelling drives huge e-commerce conversions that regular ads just cannot touch. But here's the twist. The entire business of creation is moving at warp speed right now. Just look at this quote from BuzzMaven. The line between podcast and AI synthesized briefing is already blurring. We literally have software now, like Google's Notebook LM, that can take a totally dry, boring PDF document and magically transform it into a conversational, two-person audio show. You can essentially generate your own custom podcast to listen to on your morning run. So, to wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with this thought. If AI can now instantly whip up a custom, hyper-engaging audio briefing on absolutely any topic you want to learn about, is it possible your next favorite host will actually be a machine? The 2026 audio landscape is wildly dynamic, and how we learn is shifting right beneath our feet. Thanks so much for hanging out and unpacking this with me today, and keep exploring.